Hey everyone, we're back with a new episode of Fridays with the Fiddle Fig. Oh, there it is. We got a new Fiddle Fig. It looks like it's just going to look over my shoulder from now on. Anyways, I'm John Selby with the Selby team, and we're here to cover the common questions, misconceptions, and myths about real estate. And today's big question is, what is earnest money? Earnest money is a sum of money that is put into escrow. It's also known as a good faith deposit. And it's put into escrow within 3 days of a signed acceptance on a purchase contract. So the buyer will wire or hand deliver a personal check to the escrow company, and they'll hold it until the closing. So how much about are you expected to give as an earnest money deposit? I would say on average people are giving about 1%, but we're seeing as much as 3% being given depending on the scenario. So a good scenario to, well, 1%, standard across the board, everyone is going to at least offer up a 1% earnest money deposit. We would use a higher percentage to make an offer stronger, for example. So let's say you're in a multiple offer situation, as we are many times in this market. We would maybe suggest that you put in 2 or 3% of the total purchase price as an earnest money deposit, just to show the seller you're that much more serious about the property. So who holds the money? I kind of answered that just a second ago, but that money is held by a third-party escrow company who also is there to fact check and double check all of our paperwork and make sure the transfer of the home is done correctly. And they hold that money through the duration of the escrow process, and that is delivered by you, the buyer, again via personal check or in many instances a bank wire. Also, there is a lot of wire fraud out there these days. We'll cover that on another topic, but be careful about wire frauds. In our day and age here with the technology, it's great, but it's not great at the same time. What is earnest money used for? It's used to show the seller that you're serious about the purchase and that you're willing to put some skin in the game. And it also is used at the end of escrow, assuming that everything goes through, towards your down payment and closing costs. In some cases, like the VA loan, for instance, where there is not a required down payment, you may have put too much earnest money in, and they'll actually just end up refunding that to you because it is your money and you're entitled to it. So let's get on the topic of refundable. If the money is refundable, if you cancel escrow before any of your contingencies are removed or all of your contingencies are removed. Yes, the answer is yes. Your earnest money is refundable, assuming that you have at least one contingency in place at the time of cancellation. Big contingencies are your inspection, appraisal, and loan contingency. So assuming you have not removed all of those and you decide that this property is not meant for you, you will get your earnest money back. Another reason that it may be refundable is if there's some sort of new fact evidence comes up. So if you've removed all your contingencies and let's just say a pipe bursts on the property and you have a huge flood, that would be considered new fact evidence because it's not something that was present when you made the offer. And so that would have a time period where you could renegotiate with the seller on that, on a remedy, aka fixing it, using insurance, etc. Or you could decide that you wanted to cancel at that point and you would then still get your earnest money back. That's it for this week's episode. Stay tuned for next week where we'll cover another common question, misconception, or myth about real estate. And as always, like our page and comment below with a topic that you would like covered so we can make sure that we address it on another episode. Take care. Have a good one.